Couple of weeks later, and I still don't feel like I've got my voice entirely back, but I suppose the show must go on. So without further ado, hello, welcome to Chaos and Controls, the show where we talk about modern devices, technologies, and techniques for automating your home, business, or life. I'm your host, the Automation Doctor, and today I thought we might go ahead and talk a little bit about one of my favorite resources for any aspiring automaton, AutomationDirect.com. Now, it's worth noting that I am in no way affiliated with AutomationDirect.com, at least not as of this video. Maybe someday, that would be lovely. But anyone who is in the business or looking to get into the business, whether you are doing home projects, small business projects, and even through some of the light industrial stuff until you start doing really hardcore industrial controls, pretty much anything you might want you can find on this website. They have everything from PLCs and VFDs to your cabinet needs to even HMIs, including one of the few HMIs on the market right now that I don't think is a complete waste of time, the Seymour series, particularly the new version of the Seymour that we'll probably go over a little bit here. Some notable highlights that I'm just going to show you on this page here. They have the Arduino-compatible controllers, which is effectively, if you're familiar with the Arduino environment, they've put together a industrially rated system you can grab that uses a set of I/O from another controller I'm going to recommend. So if you are just starting to get your feet wet and you want something simple, for $55 you can get a single Ethernet controller up and running, and they're very nice and easy to use. If you spend a little bit more and go up to $69, nice, you can use a couple more extra features. For instance, some of the shields and things that maybe you're used to using, you can start stacking onto this guy. Now, the real gem in Automation Direct, from my perspective, for doing most things, is the Productivity series, particularly the Productivity 1000 series. So you can see a lot of this stuff is back-ordered right now, unfortunately. I guess even years after Corona, we're still suffering from Corona. But I myself actually use one of these P1540 controllers. If you spend a little bit more, you can get a 2 Ethernet port, and depending on what you're doing, that might be useful for you. These are excellent controllers. The software is free and available on Automation Direct. And the reason that I really like using these is, unlike a lot of other things like the Click series or some of the other cheaper PLCs you might find out on the market these days, they actually use a tagging database, which is a fancy way of saying that I can call a variable by a tag name. You don't get that with every system that's on the market. The I/O is relatively inexpensive. For instance, if I go to some of the DC I/O right here, can see $50 gives me an 8-point card, so you're talking less than $10 a point. Relay outputs, love me some relay outputs. You can intercept anything. You get, I think, also 8 of them for $61, so again, less than $10 a point. And when you're comparing to some of the top dogs in the industry, like Allen Bradley or Siemens, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck coming out of one of these controllers. Now, would I recommend them for anything that is super major critical? Probably not, depends on the application. But if you're talking simple stuff like home automation or your basic material handling or even building automation, I actually really like these controllers. Some other hidden gems that you can find around, I talked about they have some of the HMIs, or human machine interface. It's a fancy touchscreen. Now personally, I believe most things are going towards SCADA, and being able to use your touch screens that have capacitive screens, and just they're nicer to interact with. But there is still a place for the lowly HMI, and these new ones on the CM5 series by Seymour, again, all of the software is free for download, so you don't even have to get the product to start playing with something. And these are actually not bad for what you get. $340 compared to an industrial rated HMI from, again, Allen Bradley. You're looking at a panel view. It can cost you thousands, if not more, to get a good HMI put up somewhere, so these aren't bad. If we go back one screen, you can see some of the prominent series that they have are I believe it's the EA9 series, the CM5, and a couple others. I'm not able to find them quickly for this video, but we're going to go ahead and move on for time's sake. Some other stuff that you might find useful out here are some of the sensors. Now, they don't have some of the HVAC-facing stuff that you might want for home automation. However, push buttons and switches and maybe some temperature transmitters, depending on what it is you're looking for, and photo-wise, depending on how you want to integrate into, for like motion detectors, they have some stuff that is pretty useful. An overall spectacular site. Prices are very reasonable. As you can see up here, anything $49, which is easy to spend on this website. And you get the free shipping. And most of the time, if you're going to put an order in, you're probably going to be spending more than $49. Also worth noting, they do have some VFDs. I haven't personally used any of these. That said, the Durapulses I am familiar with. And if I'm not mistaken, looking at what a Durapulse looks like compared to something like a Delta Drive, I really think it's the same thing with a facelift. I could be wrong on that, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot that's wrong with them. They work for most projects. Again, I wouldn't want it on anything super critical, but it is an excellent resource. Automation Direct, highly recommended by me, the Automation Doctor, and this is me just talking about something to talk about something today. In the meantime, you all have a good one. Hopefully my voice will come fully back to me and we can talk about some real content later. In the meantime, you have a good one, and I will catch you next time.